not a YouTuber, just like making videos. And in this video here, I'm going to talk about Dr. Boyce Watkins versus Dr. Umar Johnson. Now, I assume that the majority of the people that are subscribed to my channel is subscribed to Dr. Boyce Watkins' channel. If not, I suggest you subscribe now. Very interesting content. I would rank it as one of the top 5 YouTube channels of all time because there is so much valuable information that he disperses. You know what I'm saying? And besides that, he got somebody that does the news. He has interesting dialogue with other people, such as Dame Dash. He even have comedy skits, which, his comedy skits are not that good, I admit that, but they're interesting stuff. And people should know, and people who subscribe to my channel should know about the little kerfuffle that Dr. Boyce Watkins and Dr. Umar Johnson has got entangled with. If I can call him Dr. Umar Johnson. And it seems like Dr. Umar Johnson has replied by using childlike tactics, very similar to Tariq Nasheed and a Mr. Tommy Sotomayor. And that's the thing. And to me, you don't get kudos for that. Supposedly, Dr. Boyce Watkins said, I didn't see it. Dr. Umar Johnson replied with, making some sort of meme, and, trying to be funny and things of that nature, and called him a hater. And that's something like the rappers do, when they don't want to take criticism for their garbage music, they just call somebody a hater. What needs to be done now, Dr. Umar Johnson, if I can call him a doctor, needs to come up with a solid rebuttal, and really talk about what's going on, his business strategy, and things of that nature. Because I'm losing respect for Umar Johnson by the pounds, by the kilograms. But we all know, I don't want to go into how it all got started. We know that there's some female did some sort of vlog. She was speaking eloquently, talking about, we got to sometimes question these black leaders and so forth. And, people slammed her or whatever. Dr. Boyce Watkins came in and he was told Dr. Umar Johnson, hey, I'm not your enemy. And, we're just criticizing Umar Johnson's agenda, his goal or whatever to get this school with no business strategy. And I understand that Dr. Boyce Watkins also made an apology to Umar Johnson because he's not the type of guy that really wants to make enemies and so forth. But even in his apologies, he was still breaking things down. So that's Boyce Watkins' style. Even if he'll talk about Lil Wayne, he'll say Lil Wayne is one of the best rappers. He's great, he's very talented. But here's my problem with Lil Wayne. I think that a lot of his lyrics are just trash. So that's his style. I kind of like that. And so forth. Now, when it comes to black leadership, Dr. Boyce Watkins said that Umar Johnson was the next Malcolm X. I'm like, no, no, I can't agree with that. Just like I can't agree with Dr. Boyce Watkins said Lil Wayne is one of the greatest entertainers out. No, I think that sometimes Dr. Boyce Watkins, his strategy is to, pump these guys' heads up, to get them to listen, and then go in and sort of slice them up, but does it in his own way. But when it comes to black leadership in the black community, I'm like, it's nothing to be a black leader. It's not like the old days. Back in the 50s and 60s, if a black man even was a goody two-shoes, was a Christian that want to meet white people halfway, it can still be dangerous for him. Even if he was to say, hey, Mr. Charlie, it's a beautiful day. Praise the Lord. But we just had old Evans boy, he just got lynched a week ago You know what I'm saying? We had 13 lynches this week, Mr. Charlie. I want to advise you that, you know what I'm saying, something's got to be done, or me and my constituents will go to a higher court, Mr. Charlie. You know, that can get you killed back in the 1950s. But now, you know, you can sit around and you can call the white man the devil, say the white man ain't shit all day, make YouTube videos. You know, nobody's really going to give a fuck. You can talk about white supremacy and things of that nature. So it's not as dangerous as it was back in the days. Now you have to do something. You got to step on the American flag. I'm like, you got to really to garner people's attention and for them to want to throw you in jail. Talking is just not going to do it anymore. You know, and I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with creating this sort of dialogue, but you see what I mean. You know what I'm saying? So there's no Malcolm X, you know what I'm saying, today. You know, to be a black leader is not as dangerous as it was, because even back in the days, you still got black people that want to snuff you out for the sake of white people, you know. And so, and that's why I'm sort of getting at. Now, I'm not against Umar's message when he talks about white supremacy. I agree with a lot of things he says. I wouldn't even be mad at Umar Johnson if he went and just said, hey man, just donate to the cause, and just went around doing lectures. You know, I think he charges people to show up to his lectures or not, I don't know. And you know, if he put out videos. But when you literally come up with this, supposedly this proposal or whatever, to want this school, and you know what I'm saying, and we're not seeing any sort of results, you know what I'm saying, we don't have any sort of blueprint, any sort of plan, and you're just asking for all this money. I know first he started off with asking for $250,000. I remember that because Walter Lee Hampton, that famous gay guy who got his face slashed up, he made a video about it. You know, and he was criticizing Umar then. He's saying that, you know, the black people are just asking for anything out the black community. And he stated that $250,000 wouldn't be enough. And I agree with him. So since then, Umar Johnson, you know, jumped it to $2 million. You know, and now it's supposedly $5 million. I'm like, what the hell? What kind of school is he building? You know what I mean? Is it going to be some sort of NASA research center? You know, a research center that rivals NASA? I'm like, what the hell's going on here? See, my thing is, what he should do is, you know, he should start off small. You know what I'm saying? Get him a big house or whatever, gut it out or whatever, make a school. You know what I'm saying? Take, you know what I'm saying, a small number of students, you know, black boys or whatever, turn them into scholars, put them on the right path, and tell people like, hey, look what I'm doing. Look at these guys here. They was in remedial classes and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? They were failing or whatever. They would end up being just some more stats on the streets. But look at this. So, and then ask for more money and build what he got going on and add an extra wing or get a whole new facility. You know what I mean? That's what I said. And now with Umar Johnson, he should be at the point where he has a team. You know, it shouldn't just be him asking for money. He should have like this team and be like, hey, this person's going to be the director of this person's going to be the director of that, you know, and then this is how we're going to, and this is our strategy and so forth, you know. But it's just him, you know, and a lot of stuff Umar Johnson says is very vague. It's very, you know, it's like stuff that I heard before. He doesn't really, you know what I'm saying, dazzle me with information. I'm not saying he has to, but you know, I've been hitting the books and studying stuff for a long time. And I also would like to know what school Umar Johnson, you know what I'm saying, where did he teach at or whatever, or you know, he was some sort of psychologist or whatever. But at what school? What school was he giving out psych evaluations? You know, what high school or middle school or elementary school that he worked at? Because he says that black kids are just wrongfully being put in the learning disability class or whatever, and giving them all these drugs. Which I agree with him on that. But was he, you know what I'm saying, where did he work at? You know what I'm saying? Who did he work under? You know what I'm saying? Where are his credentials? Where are his references? You know, and that's what I want to get at. You know, because this guy is calling himself the Prince of Pan-Africanism. Oh, wow. You know what I'm saying? What a bevy title to give yourself. No, you know who the Prince of Pan-Africanism is? Randall Robinson, which I've been telling people about this guy on YouTube for 3 damn years now. You know, a lot of people still haven't heard of him. Why? Because he doesn't make YouTube videos. He's not on fucking Twitter. He doesn't make memes about people. You know, I'm like, his credentials are solid. Just like Dr. Boyce Watkins. Nobody's going to question Dr. Boyce Watkins' credentials. Like, hey, did you really teach at Syracuse like you said? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he has a resume to back him up. I'm pretty sure he can provide references to back up, you know, who he is. That's why Dr. Boyce Watkins can literally just, you know what I mean? He doesn't have to react, you know what I'm saying, like a child. You know, he doesn't have to get all flustered and get his temper flipped. Like, who are you to question me? Who are you to question my leadership? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, his resume speaks for himself. But when you're dealing with people like Umar Johnson, people like Tariq Nasheed, and when you ask them questions and things of that, you know what I'm saying, they got this holier than thou attitude. You know, since they want to step up and, you know what I'm saying, and I guess they're going to fix us up. Oh, yes, they are. You know, we can't question their authority, their integrity, because they're going to help out the black community. You know, my thing is not to think of the black community as just a mere charity case that constantly needs help. That somebody got to take them by the hand. Yeah, the black community has become the multi-billion-dollar charity case. You know, and some of these quote-unquote black leaders, you know, if you question them or you try to say, where'd you get this knowledge from? You know what I'm saying? They'll roast you, they'll clown you, they'll make memes or whatever. They'll put together little funny videos. It's almost like they're taking the whole black struggle as a fucking joke. Now, you take Nelly Fuller, you know, and, you know, could you imagine, you know, like for instance, remember when Umar Johnson, you know what I'm saying, went on this little tirade because he wasn't getting as much money as he wanted. He called black people low down, lazy, and trifling. You know, because we wasn't. You understand? Umar Johnson is pretty underground. You know what I mean? You know, he needs to really build a major platform. But I understand that a lot of things he says will be considered, you know, sort of dangerous rhetoric. So I get that. But could you imagine someone like Nelly Fuller, who's putting out who got his book out there, I'm gonna mess the name up, but you already know his book out, The Compensatory Concept. Could you imagine if Nelly Fuller's books wasn't selling as much as he would like? And can you imagine Nelly Fuller saying, "God damn it, these black people ain't worth a dip of snuff. I tell you, these black people are low down, they lazy, you know, they're shiftless, you know, all because people wasn't going out and buying his book, you know, at the volume he wanted to, you know what I'm saying, wanted to sell them, you know." And also with Nelly Fuller would tell you that he doesn't really have any scholarly credentials. You know, he just wants money for his book. And he states that, hey, if anybody has a better plan or strategy of combating white supremacy, I would like to hear it, because, you know what I'm saying, my plan may not work. You know, I'm like, nobody has tried this before, you know, to try to eliminate white supremacy and replace it with a system of justice. So he'll criticize himself, say, hey, it may not work and will work, you know. I don't know. If you got a better plan, then I'd like to hear it, you know. But these guys, you know, Umar Johnson and things of that nature, they walk around like they're so top lofty. Like, look at me, you know, I'm going to clean the black community up, you know, after, you know what I'm saying, all they're doing is following, and there's nothing wrong with that, but they're still following in the footsteps of people that came before them, you know. And I noticed about some of these, you know what I'm saying, I mean, using these black guys that you like to use shame tactics against black people. It's almost like they're harder on black people than they are on white supremacy. You know, I'm like, well, white supremacy put us in this situation, you know, and now you're stepping up and you're telling black people to jump. You know, and if black people don't jump as high as you want or as quick as you want, then you're going to be like, oh, you low down, dirty scoundrel Negroes and things of that nature, and clown us and mock us and berate us, because we don't want to march to their tune, or if somebody questions something. You should always, black people just can't be these lethargic people that constantly follow behind everybody, that's supposedly going to help us. You people have to understand, black people have a right to be skeptical. You know what I'm saying? Because right now, this whole pro-black panhandling, it's the new hustle. And going into Umar's school there, it just seems like he wants to be very picky on the type of facility that I guess meets his needs. Like, I want this school right here because this school got a nice little courtyard there. It has a nice little water fountain right there. I enjoy the scenery. I'm gonna up it. I'm gonna need $3 million because I particularly want this school there. I like how they did the flooring there. The flooring is very immaculate. I'm like, he should take what he got and be like, boom, I'm gonna take this. I'm going to just grab something, I'm going to build it up, I'm going to show people what I can do, and then once I produce these results, then, we can move on to bigger things, because I don't know what he's doing, and that's the thing. So I'm definitely not donating any money to the cause, what's going to help these black boys out, if they have a strong nuclear family structure. I understand Umar's concept, his ideology is that you work with the young people because old people are kind of old and set in their ways and things of that nature, and I agree with him on that. But when you're dealing with these impoverished neighborhoods, that's who these young people are around. These older people, sitting around on the corner drinking Coke 45 or some shit like that. They got influence. They see them. They see prostitutes on the corner, even though they're striving for something higher. But when you look at, white people or whatever, people who live in an upper middle class neighborhood, they don't see that. Their environment is very healthy. At 4:30 in the morning, they're hearing those the key turn into ignitions to a lot of cars because people got to get up in the morning. 4:30 in the morning in the hood, somebody's still playing rap music and people are arguing and they're hearing gunshots. And this takes a toll on a child's developing mind. But still, I'm not opposed to the fact of building this school for black boys. But I am opposed to this method that he's using. And that's the thing there. How he reacted to Dr. Boyce Watkins, is very telling. And even that video that female did, that vlog she did, the way they berated her in the comment section, they talk about, this is how black people are. Black people pull each other down. We're like crabs in a barrel. And I'm tired of these arguments just because one black person wants to scrutinize or criticize or just want to just ask questions, of another black person. We're tearing each other down. And one guy in the comment section actually said, white people don't do this. Bull fucking shit. White people, they dig into each other. That's why you have so many different political parties with white people. See, black people, we just been marginalized, vote Democratic and things of that nature. White people, they vote Democratic, Republican, Libertarian, the Wolf Pack. They constantly argue and try to, the vegetarian white people are going after the meat eaters and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Imagine some vegetarian black people, vegan black people, seeing a meat packing house that's owned and ran by black people. And they're just trying to get people, hey man, don't eat meat or whatever, man. They're abusing their animals. People will be like, hey, you're hating because, hey, these black people, they're building their business up. They want to get some sort of economic clout. They got their meat packing house. But, and I agree that, with us black people being so disfranchised that, it would be silly to go after a black meat packing house, and so forth, just to single them out, but you see the type of level that white people are on, and how we're nowhere near on the same platform or in the same realm as whites. That white people, they'll try to tear each other down, but they're still sitting on such a high pedestal or whatever that they'll never be able to fall down, because they'll always have their critics, but they always have supporters. And that's what black people need to recognize. Like, you're going to have your critics, you're going to have your supporters, and then you got to look at people's, do they have legitimate gripes? Do they have legitimate grievances? You know what I mean? Because there ain't no really hardcore black leaders out now that are just that's going to put their lives in danger. I'm like, man, it ain't like back in the days. You know what I'm saying? There's so much information available to us now. And and a lot of black people are just stuck on stupid. When you look at the new Chief Keef video getting 100 million views, you see that's where a lot of people's mentality at. All right, but it's good that a pro-black and consciousness is gaining some sort of momentum. You know what I'm saying? It's very popular now, and it's good that we have people that's going to bring it back. But you know what I'm saying? Don't treat these people like they're God Almighty, especially when they're not producing results. That's all I want to say. Thanks for watching, and never stop learning.